everybody been doing? Listen, I just got back from vacation. Hey guys, hey everybody. I just got back from vacation. My oldest son got married. It was beautiful. We were in the Punta Cana, Dominican Republic. We went to a resort called Dreams Mako Beach. Amazing. I'll do a full review about that. Share some of the things we did. I went swimming with the dolphins. It was amazing. Listen, and I did plan to go live, right? But listen, vacation brandy is a whole nother type of brandy for real. I still had fun, but I'm gonna be honest. I really don't do a lot of bringing people who ain't there with me into it. You just got to get whatever it is I remember to capture. I do try to remember to capture stuff because you want memories, right? But I am so committed to enjoying the moment. And so that's just kind of what it be. And so I don't really, I forgot. I forgot to go live. I brought everything I needed with me. Brought everything I needed to be successful and did not go live. Okay, y'all. How is everybody doing? It is Thanksgiving Eve. It is Thanksgiving Eve. I know we got some people up in the kitchen already. This is a really new Thanksgiving for me, y'all. Simply because, like I said, my oldest son got married on Saturday. I just got back into town, my home, Tuesday morning. And today is Wednesday. And so, today is cooking day. Like everybody starts cooking on Wednesday, for the most part. I actually won't be doing that. I am going to cook, but I will be cooking tomorrow. I'll get up early tomorrow and start cooking. I do have my smoked turkey in the crock pot. I have that started, but the other things that I am going to fix for my two younger boys, it don't require me to start cooking today. So I can literally cook that tomorrow and we can eat tomorrow and it's going to be all good. The only thing my boys, I committed them to watching a Christmas movie with me. We're going to eat, they're going to watch a movie with me, and they can go on about their business. If they got my youngest has his girlfriend's house, he's going to go over and spend some time with their family. I'm not sure what my middle child is going to do. So maybe he might watch a couple more movies with me, unless he has a couple friends' houses that he wants to go and stop by. And so, like I say, this is a new Thanksgiving for me. I'm embracing it. I have been the mom of 3 boys. And one thing I tell everybody is that I actually, not in a push out way, I have been preparing for my boys to leave the nest since the day I gave birth to them. Hey, honey. Thanks for joining. Let me know if you want to come on over on the other side. We about to talk about Braxtons. We got to talk about Mia. Listen, all kind of stuff went down while I was preparing for vacation and while I was on vacation. But I was just talking about how this Thanksgiving is just a new Thanksgiving for me. I've been preparing for my boys to leave the nest really since I gave birth to them, not on a push them out type of deal, but because the Bible tells us that men cleave, they leave their moms and they cleave to their wives, or in my case, partners. And so that's something I've always taken very seriously. And I never wanted my boys to be even though they are mama's boys, don't get me wrong. And the mama's boys that they just love their mom, but they're not mama's boys in a sense of, they're not doing everything I said. I'm not like, I don't treat them like they are, my boyfriend or something close to it. I treat them like young men. And I expect them to be young men. And so I didn't raise mama boys, I raised young men. And so with that being said, I am embracing what this holiday looks like for me. It's okay. I know that they're going to come. My middle baby, I asked him, I said, well, do you have anything specific you want me to cook for you? And he says, well, everything you cook, I always want. So I'm like, okay, fab. So we just gonna do again something small. I don't have to start cooking today. I can pick the greens, clean them, do all of that all tomorrow, and still be able to eat at a decent hour. Again, because I don't have a lot. No, it's not like family is coming to my house. It's just gonna be us, and I'm pretty satisfied with that. So let's get into it. Let's get into it. So me and Word on the Curb, we have a lot of catching up to do. Okay. We have a lot of catching up to do. I didn't realize it has been 2 weeks since I have even been on live. So I apologize for that. And please understand, I am getting my together and I'm going to make sure I stick to my schedule. Over here on TikTok, y'all, I think I may be kind of moving forward into another step where live is concerned. So it's definitely going to require that I stick to this schedule and really just go for it. 2026 is the year, y'all. We are leveling up, okay? You say, girl, I got daycare today, but I'm going live to catch up on Potomac. Okay, what time? Let me know what time you're going to do live for Potomac. I might can't join you. Hey, Leah, cousin girl. I hate that we didn't get to see each other while I was out there. That really sucks. You should have saw the way the boys was laughing at me. You should have saw the way they was laughing at me. They was like, no, this is not like the hotel. I'm like, you can't just have a visitor. And not for nothing, when I pulled up to the place, the way they had it locked up like Fort Knox, I see what they mean. But we had a great time. So let's get into these Braxtons real quick, honey. Thanks so much for collecting your heart me. Now listen, if you over here on my TT, you already know when you come in the room, try to collect your heart me if you want it. If you plan to come back, collect that heart me. If you sticking around and you just want to see if you want to come back or not, hey, just tap the screen for me. Everything works. We just need this engagement. Hey, Michelle, thank you so much for collecting your heart me. I am back, honey. You say 7 or 8. Okay, I think I can join for that. I think I can. I'm supposed to have a little plan, but I can work that out. I can work that out. So listen, let's get into these Braxtons, y'all, because I always call my stuff unpopular opinions, okay? And that's because a lot of times I think of things and I kind of see them differently than the general public, right? So Braxtons, look. Word on the Curb. Do you know if we did the season finale? Okay, if we did the finale for Braxtons, because I did come in yesterday and I caught up. Thank you, Michelle, for hitting my gallery. I appreciate you so much. However, this is all I want to get into because I'm not going through the episodes. If you've been watching the Braxtons, then basically they're covering Tawanda's wedding. Tawanda got married last year, I believe, in March. And so everything that we're seeing is just her wedding playing out, which is fine and great for Tawanda. But I'm going to tell you, I really feel bad for her because her sisters ain't when it comes to her, okay? Even though I'm on Tamar's side. I identify with Tamar. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. I identify with Tamar. And I know that most of the public feels like Tamar does the most, that she overreacts, that she is dramatic. And you know what? The deal is, I might be all those things too. So that might be why I relate to her, but I also relate to her being misunderstood. That's the key. Let me tell you who the real problem in that family is. It's Toni the Braxton, okay? Or what they call up the Toni Braxton is the Toni Braxton. Toni Michelle Braxton, whichever one she's showing up as on these episodes, it's her. She's the problem. She is the problem in the sisterhood. And I'm going to tell you why. Go back to the episode after she stood up on Tamar at the dinner, right? She stood up on Tamar because Tamar must have said something about her man / husband, Birdman. And so she like, don't play with me. I'm a heavyweight, which last time I checked, Toni, you is broke. Like you are always broke until you decided to marry Birdman. But I digress. Anyway, because I don't know what she meant by a heavyweight when she like 5'2". Like I don't know what she meant. Unless she was talking about status, right? That's the only thing she could have been referring to is her status. And I'm thinking, like, yes, Tony, you might be going there, which again is why she the problem. So the fight happened, or quote unquote fight, because they really didn't fight, but they did have a huge disagreement between each other, in which Trina got her hair pulled. So Tamar pulled Trina's hair and she kicked her. Tamar was acting out. Okay. Now, I'm not saying that Tamar was right about those actions. Thank you. And guess what, y'all? Thank you for the kisses. I got to kiss a dolphin. And listen, I hope he changed my luck. Okay. I hope that mean that somebody come in, baby, and they're gonna lock this thing up. Okay. Because I am ready. I am ready to be locked up, okay? Locked in. That it was so wonderful. I'm going to do another live where we talk about all of it. But I just wanted to catch up on all of these happenings. So back to Tony being the problem and not Tamar Braxton, okay? So after those things happened, Tony met up with her sisters, Tawanda and Trina. They were having a conversation. And if you remember correctly, Tony is asking them questions about what happened as if she didn't remember, as if she wasn't sitting there, as if she wasn't the one that really kind of maybe got Tamar riled up by standing up over her. Because let me tell y'all something. You can't stand up over me either. This is why I understand Tamar. I don't care what's going on. What you think? Who you think you are thinking you gonna stand up and stand over me? Who? Yes, you getting it started. So I agree with Tamar. Fast forward, Tamar is the one who said she wanted to do a retreat with her sisters to try to work things out because they are sisters. I guess in the grand scheme of things, Tamar is just trying to figure out how they keep their family together, right? There's this new thing we all hear about calling going no contact, which sounds like that's what Tawanda is doing with Tamar. But it's become popular. Not that it's not okay. I think it's okay because I'm using no contact for my and for some people in my family as well. I don't think there's anything wrong with it as long as you understand the context in which you are going non-contact. But I think what the sisters are trying to do ultimately is to avoid that, because going no contact, generally, it just is going to create a larger wedge. And so, like the people who I have decided to be no contact with, I'm not looking to mend a relationship, right? So it's okay if things happen and that lack of communication gets larger and larger. And look here, I don't have sisters either. So I don't know what that relationship looks like with your sisters. I don't speak very often to the brothers that I do have. So I'm just kind of used to that, right? And some of my withdrawal is a protection for me. But again, it's not, I don't do these things out of punishment, which that's what sounds like Tawanda is doing with Tamar. It's like she's punishing her by going non-contact and wanting her to change their behavior, right? Because of her non-contact. And I'm not sure that that is the healthiest thing. I think if you go no contact with somebody, you need to be clear about what it is, what's going on in the relationship, like that would cause you to be no contact. And again, if that's a relationship that you hope to mend, then I'm not sure that no contact is the way to go. Maybe you minimize your contact, but no contact with somebody who you hope to get back in contact with, I don't think that works. The persons or people I decided to be no contact with, it's because I understand where I am and I understand where they are, meaning there is no resolve, right? If I need an apology from someone and I need acknowledgement from someone, and we've already had conversation about what those things are, and this person decides and they don't have that, then for me, that's the reason why we would go no contact. And then that's okay, because I'm not looking, we're not going to resolve until we're able to have that accountability, have that apology, have that grown up conversation, not it be something riddled in blame and you did this, you did that. So back to me talking about Tony being a problem. So I thought it was interesting that she was talking to her two sisters and she was having them recall the chain of events as if she wasn't sitting there. And she really wasn't even making any type of comment to what her part may have been. She just kind of was letting them tell her the story, like I said, as if she wasn't there. And I thought that seemed interesting. It didn't make sense to me until this latest episode where they get together, minus Tawanda. They get together for this retreat. And as Tamar is bringing up the altercation that happened at that dinner, Tony, she admits that her and Tony has spoke, which here's the deal. Tony and Tamar are like besties. The reason why is because Tamar is closer to Tony's status, right? Meaning she's in the life, she's in the limelight, she probably has notoriety that's close to her. So Tony has a different, it's beyond the sisterhood. It's a different type of respect and reverence for Tamar. Not like Tawanda and Trina. And where Tawanda and Trina are concerned, they let Tony get away with everything simply because they've been in Tony's pocket the most. Like, they're not in Tamar's pocket. Tamar is the youngest. So that's the reason why they can dismiss Tamar. They can have the opinions they have about Tamar, but they don't apply those same thoughts to Tony. Tony can miss everything going on with Tawanda's wedding, and Tawanda is still going to accept the crumbs that she's given, which that's the reason why I felt bad for Tawanda. Because just as a person who whenever it is time for me to get married, I probably won't even have a wedding, simply because I don't want to have the disappointment of who decides that the things that I want to do to celebrate my wedding is not important enough for them. Like Tony not coming to the bridal shower. We knew Tony wasn't coming at the first episode when she told us she was going to try to fit it in. You could go back to that review. Y'all better go look at my reviews and go see what I'm saying, because I know what I be talking about. I'm very good at reading people I know and people I don't know. Okay. I guess it's behavior, or maybe what the words and the things that they say. Whatever it is, I'm good at reading them. But we knew Tony wasn't coming to that bridal shower when she told Tawanda, I'll see if I can fit it in. I'll see if I can fit it in. It's not, I'm absolutely going to be there. That is, girl, you got some other plans and you ain't making it. And we know that from if you answer somebody with that, like, I'll see if I can fit it in, that really means you ain't trying to go. That means you ain't fitting it into your schedule. And don't treat my bridal shower like it's an afterthought. Like, who the hell, right? And you supposed to be this lady's sister. This lady done been your personal assistant. Oh, thank you for the glasses, girl. Your personal assistant, everything. So, but Tawanda does not give her the energy that she gives Tamar, right? Because she feels like Tamar is over the top. Tamar just don't take that bullshit. Excuse my French. That's it. That's the reason why Tamar is the problem. And to be quite honest, I'm about to tell everybody in the audience, if you think Tamar is the problem, then you probably have an issue with accountability as well. You probably have an issue with somebody speaking their mind. Now, I'm not saying that Tamar always does it the right way. I'm not saying that, because people are entitled to just have their, like, to not be right all the time, to not move in the right space all the time. I don't know what is wrong with people, why we can't understand that. Sometimes people are so hurt that their hurt comes out and it doesn't look the way you feel comfortable with. That's hard to understand. Or is it hard to understand when you've already placed somebody in a position of where they're not the ones that are able to do that? So Tony could get up out her seat and act all out of character and nobody say boo. That's okay for Tony, right? Because she's Tony. But that's what I mean about, hey cousin, happy Thanksgiving. That's what I mean about when people are in your pocket. Generally, they are not the ones that's about to come and correct you about nothing, because they getting something from you. And that's the deal with Tamar. Tamar not in none of their pockets. So that when they say you pay the cost to be the boss, that's what that means. When you ain't in nobody's pocket, I can say what the hell I want to, because you can't take nothing from me if I say something you don't like. You can't, like, all you can do in Tawanda's case is take back your own communication. And if that's not adding to my life, then that don't mean a whole lot either. You say, nah, Tamar is the problem and she don't take accountability for her actions. I think that she does. I feel, give me an example of Tamar not taking accountability for her actions. Because I feel like her calling them all together and wanting to do this retreat to talk it over, I think that is a form of taking accountability. When her and Trina were going back and forth at that table, and she said, okay, she told Trina, she said, well, you take that back. Trina said, I'm not taking nothing back. You take it back. Tamar came back and said, well, I take it back. What is that? That is a person looking to have resolution. Like, how do you get to resolution with somebody after you had a problem with them, besides allowing them to explain themselves and then accepting what they say? Isn't that how you resolve things? You can't keep coming back with the person like, well, no, you. No, because everybody is allowed to be who they are. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't understand why it's okay for Tony to miss everything and to show up and to stand up over people with her 5'2" tail like she gonna do something to somebody, can't bust a grape. And everybody like, well, okay, that's fine. But then Tamar raised her voice and y'all kind of treat her like she wrong. When people raise their voice, especially in arguments, that means they trying to be heard. That's what that means. So if a person like shut the fuck up and let this lady say what she want to say, and even just accept what it is she's saying, not necessarily always have something to come back to say, then maybe they could see themselves getting somewhere. You say Tamar came in on why she was wanting to fight and fuss, not hitting me. She had a whole temper tantrum. Now I said she wasn't right for pulling Trina's hair and kicking the lady. Of course, yeah, she did. She crashed out for sure. The Lexapro wasn't Lexapro on that day. Or maybe she missed her dose. She said she on 20 milligrams of Lexapro, honey, and advised it for her sisters. But listen, and so again, two things can be true at the same time, right? You can be stepping out of line to get your point across and still have a point. You see, you know what I'm saying? Like, one doesn't excuse the other. So that's what I mean. Like, if she wasn't always being brought with combativeness, she probably wouldn't show up combative. Again, that's why I understand her, because I've been in a position with certain people who have an idea of me being combative. And I'm okay with them having that idea. They can keep it to the day they don't have no breath in their body no more. Because I'm going to stay combative as long as you combative with me. Like, are you kidding me? No, I'm a grown woman. You don't get to say whatever you want to say to me. I'm not going to do that to you. But if you show up to me that way, then you're going to get that energy too. And I guarantee, what I used to tell my kids this, I guarantee I'm a bigger clown than you are. Because I'm here for the shits. I'm with them all. I'm with them all. You want to go? Let's go. I will out-clown your ass any day. Yeah, I can admit that. As nice and wonderful and loving as I am, I will out-clown your ass any day. Try me. That's all. And so that's okay. People like to use those types of things against you. That look right to create a narrative like you are the problem when the problem really is everything that's going on around. That's like all they have to do is listen to the lady and not combat her. Now, is she extra? Sure. Look at her group of friends. Like that, again, you can accept where a person is. And if you're able to do that, then some of those things don't annoy you. So if she is when we first started watching the Braxton Family Values, and we all love everything she was given. Let me think of what was her cocalisms when we first started, like the doo-wop pop pop pop. She didn't want to be the doo-wop pop 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 chick, right? That the girls was mad at her. Her sisters got mad because up until that point, they all saw themselves as equal. And Toni Braxton was the only one who was the star. See, like, listen, you got to see past what somebody telling you for real and look at the true root of the problem. The problem is Tamar rose up above them and they didn't give that to her. I had this Facebook post last week, maybe the week before. I said, sometimes people just don't see it for you. And that's the truth. Sometimes people just don't see it for you. So if you think you're a star, you might have somebody around you that think you are crazy, delusional, that you are anything but a star. And that's how her sisters saw her, because again, they had all been in this same playing field as the doo-wop pop pop chicks. And when Tamar started to say she didn't want to do that anymore, then now Tamar maybe did say some things that felt like she was downing being a background singer. Here's the deal though, like how we talk about even in these platforms, everybody is not going to be live hosts. Everybody can't. But you'll have some people that will watch you and feel like, well, who she thinks she is? Or, or even maybe feel like, well, if she can, I can. And both things can be true. Who do I think I am? God told me I'm exactly who the hell I think who I think I am. I'm her. But you're right. Who do I think I am? Right? Here's the other thing. If I can do it, you can do it. That's true also. Now, who's going to be successful at it and not successful? Did y'all hear Tawanda Braxton singing the national anthem? Did y'all get a chance to check that out? There's a reason she's a backup singer. And I ain't even sure if it's a good reason, because, baby, you keep blending. That's what I got for her. You keep blending. But again, so when even in the sisterhood dynamic, when people don't see, when you step outside of the box that people have placed you in, and cousin, for real, honey, for real. I'm gonna pull it up so we can listen. Baby, it was horrendous. I don't know if it's been she hadn't warmed up in a long time. I'm not sure. But some people background is where they need to be. That's their place. You know what I mean? And not even being mean about it. It just is. There's space for everybody to do what they want. And sometimes your place is maybe where it is. And that national, I don't know, was she at a hockey game or something? Because I don't know who the hell called her out to sing the national anthem, but it was not the greatest. It was not the greatest. And like I said, it just kind of let me know that there's a reason she sings background. Tamar Braxton has an amazing voice. And I think to her detriment, it just took too long to have her out there. She needed Tony to kind of not be in the limelight because they have similar voices. And so yeah, that music industry is the type of industry where you only need one. Like, so if they got a Tony Braxton, they didn't need somebody else that was Tony Braxton-esque coming in with the twerking music, right? Say, I think they play her to the left because she's the baby. Nobody ever listens to the baby. That's right. So to your point, that dynamic started in the house before anybody was ever famous at all. I agree with you. And then it just snowballed, right? And again, Tony becoming the star, everybody kisses Tony ass. And that's the position they all used to. Tony being the oldest, that's the position they all started out in. And here we go. That's part of my point that I'm saying. People put you in a box, and if you come out that box, they don't like it. It make other people around very uncomfortable. And I mean, and what are you gonna do about that? You know, stay, fine, be uncomfortable, but don't you let nobody keep you from getting to who you need to be because the people around you are uncomfortable. Going back to the no, like what I was talking about in the beginning about being no contact. Sometimes no contact is what you need so you can go out and become who you need to be. You can't stay around these people who keep trying to minimize you and push you down. Now that she can speak for herself, she has nothing nice to say because they ignored her for so long. I agree. Right. So now when she's coming out, that's what going back to she didn't want to be the doo-wop pop chick. She hadn't been wanted to be a doo-wop pop chick for some time, but she was in that position so she could get to the next position. And so once she started to voice it, then the other lady started to feel like, like she was downing them. She wasn't downing them. She was just downing why she didn't want to be it. Now, some stuff you have to look at your own insecurities about. But that's why we're seeing them. That's what I said. That's why I'm going back to Tony is the problem. Now, let me tell you the other reason why Tony the problem. Now, I told you all season, they just covering Tawanda's wedding, basically. They started off with the niece. They sent the cease and desist to Tamar, and so we ain't heard no more about the niece. That's why Tamar was going off on them about that cease and desist. She felt like sending her a cease and desist was like trying to basically ruin her business. And she knew, which was confirmed by Trina, she knew that the only way that she was able to be served was if one of her sisters gave out that information. And I can understand her feeling some type of way, because why would you do that? Why would you have somebody come for me and come shut down my business, right? And lo and behold, it's one of the ladies who don't have a business, because it wasn't her bestie, Tony. It was one of them. It was Trina, right? It was Trina. So, and Trina says she only said she gave out the information casually. She didn't know she was giving out the information in order for there to be a cease and desist. Shady as hell. Thank you. Thank you. You called it, because it is. It is, whether you were saying it, and that's why Tamar was going off on them the way that she was at that table, because she knew the relationships that her sister shared with this lawyer. So she know for sure that somebody, and that's one thing, that's why I'm saying I relate to Tamar very much. Even if I don't completely act the way she do, I relate to her actions. I relate to why she mad. Because if I'm asking you a question, don't talk to me like you don't know what I'm talking about. Why would you do that? We gonna play crazy? Cause now I'm gonna be crazy. Okay, now I'm gonna you wanna play crazy, I'm gonna take this shit up a notch. That see, that's what I'm talking about. Don't play crazy with me because we gonna go there. And that's what those people tried to do. They tried to, play her. Or they tried to play like, well, we don't want to talk about this on camera. That's why Tamar had to pull. So going back to Tony being the problem, Tamar had to pull Tony's card. Okay. So let's say this. So like I said, they covering Tawanda's wedding. Tawanda got this whole rollout on her social media going on where she is trying to build her YT channel, her YouTube channel. So in the midst of these things playing out on the show, she is kind of releasing other things on her YouTube page and inviting you to go and join and subscribe. It's a smart thing, right? Because Tawanda's not the star. And let's say in the scheme of who the Braxtons are, she probably has the least, right, subscribers or what have you. So great idea. Use what's happening to gain that following that you need so that you can monetize. As I said before, put a pin in that. As I said before, anybody you see and doing something live on any damn platform is trying to monetize. Okay? They're not on there for any reason. Anybody you see on YT posting videos, the goal is to monetize. That's it. Nobody needs to tell you that. The fact that you're watching something they put together, edit it, and place it and post it, that lets you know. Period. So, and like I said, smart idea. Well, lo and behold, here come Tony after keeping her relationship secret, marriage secret. All of a sudden, she's sitting on Sherry Shepherd's couch. Not just on the show is she confirming it. You going out doing actual interviews. And now it's the Breakfast Club. And now you're letting everybody, they've been asking you, right? But you've been denying it. And now all of a sudden, when the attention goes on to one of your sisters, here you are basically taking it all back. And that's nasty work. I don't care how soft-spoken she wanted to sit. Like Tamar said, Tamar had to pull that card. She's sitting at lunch cutting a biscuit with a fork and a knife. She said, girl, you are married to Birdman. What the hell is you over here doing? Exactly. If you don't pick that damn biscuit up and run it in some gravy, that's not, you are married to Birdman. Do you know what? Brian, as she called him. Brian. Oh, I don't call him Birdman. I call him Brian. She wants to think she doesn't know who Birdman is. That nigga with all that tattoos all over his face that you sleep with every night. That man. That man, that's the one we're talking about. Brian. Do he look like a Brian to you? Right, Birdman, bird woman. That's your butt. But yes, that's what she literally was sitting up cutting her biscuit with a knife and fork. And that's what Tamar. And I thought, listen, Tamar, we was right there together because she had to look at her. She said, are you cutting your biscuit with a fork and knife? And she said, yes, I am picking it up. She's like, girl, you are married to Birdman. You are doing the most. Exactly, honey, because you probably puff passing and doing all of the things. And I'm not saying that you have to let us know that as the public. It's okay. That's a lavender marriage. That's what my cousin said. That's a lavender marriage, baby. It's something. It's something. I ain't really sure what the something is, but it's something because it's way off for me. And, it reminds me, just like you said, cousin. So you know what I'm talking about. That was low down. That is low down. When you know for sure that your sister is trying to basically use the show and use what's happening on the show to promote her platform, something you don't need to do. Now, all of a sudden, it's the perfect opportunity for you to start wearing a wedding ring, for you to start confirming your marriage on your interviews and things. You a nasty beast. And that's, like I said on Facebook, that's the type of lady you have to watch out for. Because I don't care that she don't raise her voice. See, like that's kind of the misconception we under. Is that somehow if you don't raise your voice, if you are not boisterous, if you keep your demeanor very quiet and simple, that somehow that all equates to not just classiness but being kind. And it doesn't, because ain't nothing kind about that. And let me tell you what else gonna happen. Tawanda not gonna say a damn thing. Now, Tawanda probably got all a good person, right? It don't equate to you being a good person. Your character and the things that you do equates to you being a good person. So like I said, Tamar pulled a card on that episode. That's what she said, girl, you married to Birdman. Here go Trina. We talking about that? Trina looking like a deer in headlights. Are we talking about that? Which lets you know they've been married, right? We remember now, it was still the Braxton family values when Birdman came, when she started dating him. And he came on the show. I think he had like one little scene. He came to dinner or something. And I remember Tracy called him out. See, that's why they did Tracy the way they did too. Because Tracy wasn't for this either. And again, when you're not in somebody's pocket, that allows you the space to say whatever you want to them. Because there ain't nothing you can take from me. That's why they treated Tracy that way, and then they turned around and treated Tamar the same. But now, so that came out. But Toni started confirming her marriage to Birdman as soon as Tawanda's bridal shower was playing out. She started confirming her marriage to Birdman 3 weeks ago. Okay, 3-4 weeks ago. The wedding just took place this past episode. And you've been married to this man probably for about 3 years. Because remember the whole thing, they had filed for divorce like 2 weeks after or something. So anyway, going back to Trina talking about we gonna talk about this. See, that's the way they wanted to try to control Tamar. They wanted to control Tamar in a way of telling her what she could and could not discuss on the show. They wanted to keep it, in this realm. They're very. What I noticed about the episode, this last episode that I watched, is that it was giving me very Kardashian vibes. And listen, I say this, and I ain't gonna take it back in the words of Dr. Heavenly, because I say what I mean. Any family deciding to do reality TV, they probably should take a page out of the Kardashians' book. In the way that Kardashians, how they talk about and don't talk about, and when they decide to talk about whatever they do talk about, they need to go ahead and figure that out. Because Kardashians had always, I watched them for their first 10 years. I stopped watching them after I found out about Caitlyn. And not because it was Caitlyn. The simple fact was I had been watching this show for 10 years and y'all had a cross-dressing daddy upstairs and nobody ever mentioned it. I don't know how that happened, but that's because they were all on the same page. That's the reason why we don't see Rob. Rob didn't know how to do what it is they wanted to do, which is present something that was other than what was happening in their life. So he went into a downward spiral that I hope he is somehow climbing his way out of now. But that's the reason why you saw him and then you didn't, because they couldn't control him and he couldn't control what was happening. Now, they ain't going to say that, but I'm going to just tell you what I saw, because I watched them the first 10 years. I watched them faithfully. Their show is set up. I haven't watched them since, and I don't know what these new reboots are like, but what I'm going to say is simply because of the success, they haven't deviated from what they've been doing. And the deal is their reality show is set up like a sitcom. So they do present some type of problem on the show. They present something, but by the time it's time for the show to be over, they have resolved that problem like a sitcom. Because that generally is what happens when we watch sitcoms. There'll be something that happens, some big thing, and by the time it's over, by the time the show is over, that problem has been resolved. So again, for me, and not that I understand that reality TV is not all real, but that was just a little bit much for me. I was just like, "Now, how y'all got a cross-dressing daddy upstairs? And when nobody said nothing, ain't nobody slipped up and said nothing. We ain't had no inkling of it." So I was like, "Nah, y'all can't get no more of my time, not at all." Especially finding out that man had been doing that for far longer than, because I think we all, just as public people, we all were under the impression that this was something he just started or something. But to find out that it was something he had been doing and been in, it was just like, yeah, y'all can miss me with that. Do what y'all do. I'm not here for it. But anyhow, what my point with that is, I noticed that the Braxtons seem to be in that same type of space today, in which they probably want to present a little bit more Kardashian-like, right? And I guess that's why they thought the Braxton family values would work. The deal with TV is like, it's certain stuff you can't hide. And so we already here now with y'all problems, like y'all can't hide it. But yeah, I think that these are the reasons why I think Toni Braxton is the problem. I think she won't let her sisters be great. I think she is always going to find a way to one up her sisters. The reason why Trina and Tawanda don't have a problem with it is because they can be in her pocket at any given moment. Now, I'm not saying, well, Tamar says she paid for Tawanda's down payment, and I believe her, because I don't know who the hell giving away $35,000 as a gift. I don't care if they do, if they are rich. That's a hell of a gift, right? So I do think she put that down payment down for her. But what I'm saying is, if Toni needs a backup singer at any, like Trina came to the show, she's gonna be able to call on her sisters, and they're going to be there because they're not doing very much else with their lives. And so, with that being said, they're not going. What the saying is, don't bite the hand that feeds you, and so that's what they're doing. And yet, if you want to, and I guess that's rightfully so, you know what I mean? Because if you want to be able to speak your own mind, then you can't be in somebody's pocket about it, right? Somebody can't be paying your bills or be your employer, and then you turn around and have something nasty or mean or whatever, maybe not that great to say about them. It generally won't work. You probably not gonna work for them no more. Once you start to speak your mind. And so that's the deal. Tracy wasn't in their pocket. Now, was Tracy disappointed about the way that they went off and, kind of left her to the side? For sure. But they never really let Tracy back in. And so now we watch them kind of try to rewrite that history. Tawanda, now I'm going to say this about the last episode, but with that wedding, I didn't see one tear come down Tawanda's eye. Now, that's not me saying that she didn't have the feelings that she was expressing. I just thought she was performing. That's it. And I wonder who the performance was for, because, girl, we watched y'all treat that lady bad. And I'm not saying that y'all, that leading up to her passing, that y'all didn't have some sort of, what do you call it? Reconciliation, right? Some sort of coming to Jesus about it. I for damn sure hope they did. Because who would want something like that to happen? But I'm also saying too, don't try to play us like we didn't watch it, like we didn't see how y'all treated her, like you don't know what our opinion is about it. So kind of doing the overacting with how you were feeling in that moment about not having Tracy there. It just felt performative for me. Again, this is unpopular opinions, right? I'm not finna let nobody play with my sensitivity and my emotions just so I can get some followers. I'm gonna tell y'all what I really think. And I know most times people agree. We just won't say it. Because it don't sound great, right? It don't sound great to accuse one sister of faking her grief for her other sister. That don't sound great, but it's just the truth. And somebody got to say it. So there we have it. So yeah, that's Tony is the problem. It is not Tamar. Tamar definitely does act out. Two things can be true at the same time, but I'm on Tamar's side. I understand Tamar. And my advice to Tamar, just in this space though, would be she needs to get her at least one good girlfriend and not that medium we keep seeing her talk to. One thing I do criticize Tamar about is she has a lot of guy males around her, and males that are of feminine persuasion, right? And I hope that's the most political correct way to say it. But my deal with that is she should get her one good girlfriend. Now that might be, now that we're talking about it, actually, it may be hard for her to hold relationships with other women because of the way her sisters have betrayed her. Because when you go through betrayal from women who are close to you, it is hard to want to have another relationship with somebody, with another female. And females are dirty, honey. Dirty. We're gonna get into some things. I'm gonna tell y'all about my own damn mama, child. Okay. Females can be dirty. So while I do criticize her that she needs to get a good female friend, an actual female, that born female, that what we call it today? Who has the understanding, the emotions, the all of the things that go along with being female, that they have that naturally instinct, and is caring and giving and nurturing and empathetic, like a good girlfriend, right? She needs one good girlfriend for her. And hopefully, and we can maybe see her just kind of shift because she wants to very bad, but everybody keep triggering her. And I do think some of her performance, some of her dramatics come from her circle. So that's what, and that's coming from the males who emulate feminine energy, because it is done in an exaggerated way. That's all. That's it, and that's that. I just tell the truth. It's not saying nothing bad about one thing or the other. It just is what it is. But having that type of instinct, that feminine instinct about how to approach and how to console or advise another woman, I do think can only come from another woman. And so that's the reason why we see her in these crash out spaces so much, because she doesn't have a good girlfriend she can trust. And it's a shame because she got 4 sisters that's left that she should be able to, or is it 3? Excuse me, because it was 5 sisters, right? So it's 3. That she should be able to, but she can't trust them hoes. And so because she can't trust her own blood sisters, she don't know how she can go and trust some other person, it happens. But that would be my advice to Tamar in this moment and for her life. But I like to say I'm with Tamar. I understand Tamar. I will speak up for Tamar, even when her own damn family won't. Her own mama won't even speak up for her. And that could be the problem too. Moving right along, we're gonna move on to the next one. I spent a whole hour on the Braxtons, and I didn't even mean to, but we're gonna move on to Mia, honey, y'all. Mia Thornton formerly of Real Housewives of Potomac, baby. Listen, if she ain't, one thing she gonna do is stay in competition with Wendy. So she got arrested, and she was arrested for larceny, y'all. Larceny. She moved out of a condo, which we already knew she was halfway broke. I'm going to pull up the story real quick so I can go back to it, because this happened last week. I think I was getting ready to go on vacation, and I just knew I would cover it when I got back on. But I just thought it was funny that, you know, Wendy and Eddie or Cepho caught their case, okay, of insurance fraud. And here come Mia, not even, it might be a month later. It might be a month later now. But honey, and here you is with your own case of larceny. I know she had a bit much to say about Wendy, just in the sense of, let me see, what is this? In the sense of, you know, not being able to believe that Wendy got herself caught up in that. And the funny thing is, I don't think any of us could believe that Wendy and Eddie got themselves caught up in this insurance fraud case, right? And we're still waiting to see how that's going to play out. Wendy has said time and time again that it's basically that it's false and that the truth will come out. What I'm gonna give credit to Wendy for is that she is not cowering, she is not hiding out. She showed up to BravoCon, she addressed the questions as intelligent, and she's an intelligent woman. So it's kind of like, I'm not surprised that she was able to handle it that way, but I'm surprised that she did, because we're so used to people kind of getting in trouble and then just kind of go in hiding. I don't even have the doggone story, y'all, but it's $11,000 larceny that Mia is charged with, right? She moved out the condo, moved out of a condo, and it might be the condo she shared with that ex-boyfriend of hers, and took the furniture with her. So when she moved in the condo, she moved in a furnished condo. And when she moved out in the middle of the night, they said she moved out like a thief in the night, child. She took the furniture with her, the furniture that did not belong to her, that was there when she got there. So the lady called the police. I guess she thought that because this lady who she was renting from was not in the States. I believe this lady is out of here we go, out of the country.
Arrested a reality star today at Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport. Here's some video. This is Mia Fields Thornton being arrested. She had an active warrant out for her arrest. You may remember she was wanted by the city of Atlanta on larceny charges. Police say it was in connection to furniture theft. She's now being held at the Fulton County Jail. Fields Thornton appears on the Real Housewives of Potomac television show.
Now, do we know if she's still in jail? Because I just saw something today, and I didn't know if it was old. I know her birthday just passed, so happy belated birthday, Mia. And we did see her posting, but this is the deal with posting. Just because somebody posting doesn't necessarily mean that they're active, right? You can schedule your post. Like I got posts at a post, I don't know, I think I got posts scheduled out to December. And so it doesn't mean I'm in jail, but it doesn't mean that I'm actively posting. So again, I know she did post like a happy birthday post to herself, but she can have a social media manager. I happened to see a report that said that lady is still in jail and she ain't been able to bond herself out, which I halfway believe that, because if you are stealing furniture that you know don't belong to you, then you probably don't have much money. And we know that Gordon has been cut off from his family, i.e. that means her too, because they going through a divorce. And then she done left the man who was taking care of her. And I think her and Bobby Valentino, now I ain't sure what Bobby Valentino got in his bank account, you know, because we ain't seen him around a long time. That don't necessarily mean that people broke because you ain't seen them. All I'm saying is he must not be footing the bill. That's what I'm saying. He must not be footing the bill. Oh, but they said, so the ex must have had, that's Inc. He must have been on the lease also, because it says that that he being sued too. I don't know if he was in jail, but let's find out if the lady's still in jail. Is she still locked up? Because that would be a shame. Karen made her appearance at BravoCon. So here's the deal. Here's what was so interesting about Karen making her appearance at BravoCon. She said, "Oh, I think we're going to be able to see a sit down with her and Andy. I do believe she is actually going to admit to having some sort of addiction. I'm not sure if it's going to be to alcohol or if she's still going to tell us it's about those pills or maybe both, you know. But what I'm going to say is it does seem that whatever time she did spend, that year that she spent, may have done her some good and given her some accountability. But I'm excited for the Grand Dame to return and for us to kind of get where she is today and to get a feel for what's going on with her. Moving right along to the next one, because that was all I wanted to compare Mia to Wendy and how she is always in competition with Wendy. Like, girl, this is one of those competitions you should sit out. I don't ever want to find myself competing with somebody so hard that we competing with charges. Okay, who got the biggest charge and who gonna get off first? Because that's the competition we in now. And that's a bit much, right? That's a bit much. So moving right along to the last cover story that I am doing for today, and then we'll get into, I'm gonna do some housekeeping, as Funky Dineva would say. First of all, as I mentioned, Funky Dineva, let's send our prayers and thoughts out to Funky Dineva. He took to Instagram yesterday and let us know that he had been diagnosed with stage 1 prostate cancer. He is feeling a little he's feeling drab. He did not do his show last night. He is on YT at 8 p.m. every day, Monday through Friday. But he did not do the show. He's feeling melancholy is the word that I would use. He did just make a post today to let everybody know that he has gotten a text and he has gotten the calls. I am alive and well. I've seen all your calls and texts. Thank you so much. His caption says, "I'll eventually touch base with everyone who reached out to me. I'm still needing some time alone." So he is not really handling that diagnosis in a joyous way, and I think that's understandable. I made a message on his post yesterday when he canceled the show, and my message just said, "Take all the time you need, feel the feelings." With that being said, that's so important. Part of my Beauty with Purpose, it talks a lot about just having different feelings and emotions and coming up out of that. And part of going from a, let's say, survival space to a healing space is being able to sit in some feelings, being able to recognize some feelings. A lot of times when we are in survival mode, a lot of times when we have obligations to other things, like him having an obligation to his YouTube channel and to his followers and subscribers. The deal is sometimes you can't give to them because you need to sit and give to yourself. And so it's okay for him to take this in. It is stage 1. I think that is a great thing. It was caught early. We are learning a lot about men's health and really trying to encourage men to pay attention to their health. Going back to Braxtons really quick, Vaughn on the show is having heart issues, so he had to leave Tawanda's wedding before the reception. They sat through the wedding, and then on the way to the reception, he had to be rushed to the hospital because he had some lab work come back that was had gave the doctor concern, and she wanted him to go to the hospital and be checked out. And so he kind of didn't say anything and waited. And she wanted him to understand, the severity of taking those types of deals into your own hands. And so, again, going back to Funky Dineva, we sending him our thoughts and prayers. We are glad that he caught it early. It is stage 1. The last he did say is that he will probably just go ahead and do the surgery. Listen, I'm not a man. I know men be real sensitive about when it comes to their area, to their penis, and what goes on down there. But my thought always is, when somebody give you that C word, get it out if they can. Get it out, cut it out, get it out. So I don't know that there is any other alternative and why you would want it outside of, having those thoughts of whatever the circumstances are, or excuse me, not circumstances. What is it? Side effects. There we go. Whatever the side effects would be to having the surgery, which probably might be impotence. Of course, it is probably not being able to father children. Some of those things, I think, just like women go through the emotions if they ever have to be faced with the hysterectomy. I think those are things that you reconcile. They make you, like a woman's uterus is part of her femininity. Same with her breasts. Women who have to go through maybe mastectomies, they go through certain emotions, grieving. I think that's the best way to put it. There's a grieving process about having to part with those things, and not because it's just an extension of your body, but the fact that the function of them, the fact that they are a part of your body, it coincides with what your gender nature is. And so, like women losing their uterus, it just kind of reminds them of not being able to bear children, whether they had been before or not. But that's that last part of what separates you, in a sense, right? Outside of your actual genitals. And the same with your breasts. Most women want their breasts because it separates them from, when you see me, from male to female. And so there's a grieving process that takes place, I think, when people are faced with the idea that they have to get rid of them or do something that will cause those things not to function the way that they have been. So again, thoughts and prayers are with Funky Dineva in this journey, and I'm sure we will be hearing from him soon, and he'll have us laughing again soon. Okay, so that moves on to the next story, which is Kandi and Todd, y'all. Okay, y'all know it's my favorite thing. It is a scheme that Todd set up for the bullshit. Now listen, I saw Todd post, like, maybe, let me go, I'm gonna go to it so I can see when it was. Did I comment? I can't remember if I commented on the actual post or not. But it said I went right to it. So it was November 11th when he posted. He said this next scheme is genius. Stay tuned. Nobody knew what he was talking about, right? And I simply thought to myself, like, it's a scheme that Todd set up. It's not as funny if Todd is in on the joke, right? Because the joke is, that it's a scheme that Todd set up. Like, you're not supposed to be in on, like, oh, I'm plotting another scheme. Like, no, it's not that funny. But here I go. Is this the scheme that he was setting up, honey? Is this the scheme that he was setting up? Because according to Kandi, they've been going through some things for quite some time. We was all pretty shocked that the file for divorce came. And honestly, I was going to cover Kandi anyway, because as we talked about BravoCon, Kandi was awarded they had the first time Lifetime Achievement Awards. And Kandi was awarded was it the Lifetime Award or the what? Angela, I need your help with this one because whatever the award is, I thought it was premature, right? And Andy, and in my opinion, with the lifetime achievement, okay, so maybe that's what it was called, the lifetime achievement award. It was given to her, so it wasn't like this whole award ceremony. It's just one award, the lifetime achievement award, and it was awarded to Kandi. It was the very first one, right? They didn't do this the first time that they had done anything like that, right? They hadn't given that out at any other BravoCon. And again, I'm gonna speak the truth. Unpopular opinions, because maybe not everybody agrees with it, but I thought it was premature to give it to Kandi. Now, the reason why is because it doesn't have anything to do with Kandi's success, right? Like the restaurants, the bedroom Kandi, the songs that she's written, the Broadway plays that she's been able to produce. Has nothing to do with that. Has everything to do with the Lifetime Achievement Award and it being the first one given out. If you wasn't going to call Nene and give it to Nene, or if it wasn't going to be given to Vicky. Now listen, the reason why I say Vicky is just because Vicky has been the longest running, I believe, before she left and before Kandi stayed on. I believe that Vicky had been the longest running housewife, especially being a part of the very first franchise, which is Real Housewives of Orange County. Not everybody is familiar with the Housewives universe because a lot of people came on to Housewives and caught on to Housewives when Atlanta came out. Okay, Vicky already got one. Okay, so let me thank you for pointing that out because I know damn well Vicky should have been the first one to get one. I know damn well that, like, yeah, you can't, like, that would be absurd to give Kandi a lifetime achievement award over Vicky. And now I'm gonna say over Nene, right? Now, like they just should have called Nene back. And they just should have given her one. Simply because she deserves it. I'm talking a lot, y'all. Simply because she deserves it. I don't believe that Kandi deserved a Lifetime Achievement Award. Again, has nothing to do with any of her success. Has everything to do with her contributions to the Housewives. I don't feel like she's given us any. For me, Kandi was the most boring housewife, and the only reason why she lasted the years that she did is because she had Mama Joyce and because she had Aunt Bertha, her family, right? It was everybody else that was around her that created the space for her to continue to come on season after season. Kandi didn't give a damn thing. And I've said, now y'all can go on my YT page and you can go back to some of the very first reviews that I was doing. I've always said that about Kandi. And again, I don't dislike her. I just think that she didn't bring much. I think she's boring. And boring in the sense where she didn't make she never had an opinion. She never, like when it came to Kenya, her and Kenya became friends. She just let Kenya run amok. Even as a friend, she never really checked Kenya. When we go back to Bolo, to that, what was that, season 12, I think, when they had, when they went to South Carolina and they did and that wasn't 12, that was 13, season 13. They did the bachelor party for Cynthia. And after everything went down, that's the one where, maybe possibly allegedly Portia and Tanya slept with the stripper. And of course, this was all created by Kenya, which at the beginning of the whole thing, Kandi said, whatever happens here stays here. And damn, that didn't last 24 hours because the very next morning, Kenya is up talking about it. No sooner did they get home, here's Kandi, because I said Kenya had Kandi in check, honey. Because you could tell they had some sort of conversation because the next scene was Kandi having a conversation with Don Juan in which she was validating everything that hey mindset, thank you for joining. She was validating everything that Kenya was saying. Listen, that pissed me off right there with Kenya and with Kandi. Thank you for grabbing your heart me, simply because like, why don't grown people let grown people do what they do? Why are you all in that lady's business if she had slept with that stripper or not? And at the time, Portia was single, so she could sleep with whoever she wanted to. But going back to Kandi not deserving that lifetime achievement, so I just thought that Kandi really never gave anything of herself. Thank you for the populars. I appreciate it. She never really gave anything of herself. Her mom came in, man hating every man she brought in. Bertha is the scheme that Todd set up. That is what we continue to repeat. And listen, Mama Joyce clearly was right about Todd being a lemon and Kandi making lemonade, because Kandi said, "You getting the hell up out of here." Now, I wonder what that entitles him to. I'm gonna go back and watch the wedding just so I can see a little bit more about that prenup and what that might entitle him to. So it sounds like Kandi was saying they have had problems for some time. I don't know how true the rumor may be that maybe Ty had started sleeping around with the ladies that was being brought into the bedroom for threesomes. Now listen, I just said you let grown people be grown people, right? Let grown people be grown people. Thank you so much for the repost. See, I love that. But here's the deal. There is going to be a problem in your marriage when you start to open it up and bring other people in it. I think at the point in which now, and I don't care at what point it is that you are opening up your marriage to do threesomes. Say they've been separated since July. Okay, like now, does that mean he was living in the guest house and she was in the big house, or does that mean they were still sharing the house but just technically separated? But I like to say, I don't care if it's at the beginning, the middle, or towards the end. At whatever stage you get to having to bring some third party into your marriage, and I'm talking about in the bedroom, we're not talking about like a therapist, right? Because that might be the most healthiest thing. But when we talk about like in the bedroom, you need to start doing threesomes and all kind of wild stuff to keep the spice going, especially at the beginning. I think that's a red flag immediately. And maybe I'm just a prude, because no, I'm not having a threesome, and no, I don't want to marry somebody who thinks that it's okay to ask me for one. And I'm almost certain that I wouldn't be caught in a position like that. Now, maybe somebody might say, hey, then he gonna go out and cheat. Well, then that's what I guess needs to happen. But I'm not going to bring a third party into my bedroom. Like, it's just not going to happen. And like I said, and I think at the moment in which you start doing that, there's already a problem that you need to address. And maybe they shouldn't have gotten married. Now that is more so what I've been thinking about a lot. I think Kandi and Todd made a really cute couple. I do think that they both of their stock increased with them coming together. And if for nothing at all, maybe that's the most you can hope for. I know we all want forever. And I think most people get married to have forever. But maybe forever doesn't come. And I think the most that you can hope for is that whatever time it is that you were able to spend together, that both of y'all stock increased. That he didn't bring hers down and she didn't bring his down. That they were both able to level up. And in a way together. I don't know that she would be a Broadway producer without having married a producer that came from Bravo. I don't know that would be the same. And so what we say, fair exchange ain't no robbery. Where I know Mrs. Mama Joyce is somewhere probably like I told you so. I ain't sure if she was right or not. But what I am saying is, I think they both got something out the deal. I think Kandi saw not just wanting to get married, but I think that she saw something that was beneficial to her in him, no more than he saw something beneficial in her to him. And it could be the money and the access. Fine. Who don't want it? Who don't want somebody who got a little more access than them? I don't want to marry somebody who on the same I mean, it's not saying I wouldn't, but I don't necessarily want to marry somebody who's got the same like income level as me. I would want him to be a little bit higher because I want him to bring me up, you know. And I'm not opposed to building together, but I'm 45 years old. Shit, I listen. You're gonna have to be there already a little bit, just a small little bit. Say it was a good run for 11 years. I agree. They had a good run. Now I wonder. Now what I did think of is now he can stop using his Marvin alias. Now he can go back to Todd in New York. Now I'm as bad as Mama Joyce. I thought Kandi, and here go Kandi with her shady self, had something to say about Portia. Oh, Portia being asked to leave her flight, her Delta flight, coming back from BravoCon because she ran into a Karen, honey. And what Kandi gonna say? You had those headphones. She was telling us this on her Amazon Live. I just came across some clips, but I did think, like, Kandi, you got your own stuff to worry about. And see, let's go back to that lifetime achievement, how she never gave anything of herself. She just really kind of pulled other things in. And for me, that's not enough. I think if they wasn't going to give it to Nene, I don't even, if you're not, I don't know who they supposed to give the next one to. You need to call Nene. Y'all need to mend this up with Nene because nobody deserves a lifetime achievement. Nobody deserves a lifetime achievement award if they're not coming from an original cast. That's number one. Kandi came season 2, but I don't give a damn. That's not the original cast. That's not the cast that got it kicked off for Atlanta. It definitely was that first season. As short as it was, you know, it was the first season. Everybody came back from that. Teresa, when it comes to New Jersey, Teresa is part of the original cast. We could go down the line. New York is Bethany. Bethany is a part of the original cast. And again, if these are not the people that are in line to receive these lifetime achievements, it's a joke as far as I'm concerned. Kandi receiving that award is a joke. It's a participation award. That's what it is. It's a participation award. It has no bearing in truth or into what the actual award stands for. Now, Kandi can take that out how she wants, but it's the truth. But okay, she got one more thing to add to her list of awards that might be undeserving. And that's all I'm saying on that. So yes, they had a good run. I think we were very shocked by it. I think we do want to know some more information by it. Hell, who'd have thought Mama Joyce was right? Okay. Kandi took the lemon and made lemonade. And listen, I know they criticized Todd because there's some video of him being out, seemingly celebrating, you know, the filing of the divorce, the process. And the only thing I'm gonna say with that is, listen, I am sure he is probably tired of their family. I'm sure he probably tired of it. I can't say if it is a scheme he set up, if the man was, if Mama Joyce said the streets was talking and he talking to Carmen, maybe he gonna be with Carmen, right? Because that's where that came from. He was supposed to be being with Carmen. Maybe he gonna go sleep with a couple of her other friends. I'm not sure. But what I am gonna say is that I'm sure he was tired of their family. having to prove himself, having to show up, having to feel like he needed to be in a position financially to just even be in some sort of, to feel like he was able to be in the presence of Kandi. And again, I just think that we don't tell the truth about Kandi. Like even with the No Scrubs, with her singing the song. Like, do you know that girl kept using, she was on Atlanta Housewives giving us, I wrote No Scrubs. That was 25 years ago. Listen, the biggest scheme I told my friend about this. The biggest scheme we were sold was on Lauryn Hill. Lauryn Hill been selling us an album for 30 years. Apple Music named that album #1, ahead of the #1 album, ahead of Michael Jackson. Who? She's only had one album. And I'm not saying that it wasn't good. What I'm saying is that's a scheme that Todd set up, because ain't no way your album better than Michael Jackson. No, it's not. But we've been buying it for the 30 years. We've been buying into, she's the greatest lyricist for 30 years, and she's only given us one album. And listen, there ain't no knock to Lauryn Hill, because hey, if y'all gonna keep doing it, I'm gonna keep coming. Thank you so much for grabbing your heart, me. I'm gonna keep going too. I also found it funny that Lauryn Hill wouldn't show up to a damn thing until they started paying better. So now you can get Lauryn Hill to come to a concert or to do a little this and a little that. But before then, honey, she wasn't coming for nothing. I am doing great, Nico. Thank you so much for joining. I am just talking some hot topics, giving a little tea. What's tea, honey? And catching up with my live hosting friends, with my community, because it's been a while since I've been on. So we needed to catch up on some of these hot topics. But that is really it, honey. That's all I got for today, is telling y'all about that. We're gonna probably come back, I think, later on tonight with Housewives of Potomac. And we gotta talk about that Cookie. Because I told you when Cookie showed up, Angela, I told you. That girl, she looked like something on the bottom of my shoe. And so I knew she was thirsty. Somebody who don't take the opportunity to comb their own hair, you can't come and sit up in my face and think you're going to drag everybody else. I'm going to need you to go see a mirror first. I'm going to need you to go, do something with all of that going on up front first. I'm going to need you to come and be presentable first. But I knew she was a thirst bucket. She couldn't bother to comb her damn hair. And like I said, in this day and age, we have access to way too much for your hair to be looking like that while you on somebody's camera. But you too thirsty to try to get something out. And I wouldn't be surprised if she the one sleeping with Chris. Because why you so thirsty to get out information about who this man's sleeping with? Who is this man to you? Girl? Or is she trying to get up under Monique's skin, like Monique said? Monique said, you can have that man. I got me a man. Shantae's got a man at home. And he's so good to me. I'm sorry that. I'm sorry that. What's her name? Cookie ain't got enough time to comb her own hair because she got to get to the taping so she can throw shade when somebody needs to be throwing shade on her. So big ups to Stacey for keeping that finger pointed. I don't blame Stacey, because what you gonna do about it? They went on to usher Cookie's big ass on up out of there. So listen, y'all. This is part of the housekeeping. I will be going live on TikTok Monday through Friday at 1 p.m. That is my set goal for my schedule. We will come back that evening and pick up our Real Housewives of Potomac. Okay, I'm on my on the phone. When I get off here, I surely will. We will pick up our Housewives of Potomac. I think we're gonna have to come back and do a Bell Collective. And Love and Marriage Huntsville has started up. I have to go back and rewatch that episode because let me tell y'all something. You know what? Now I'm about to tell y'all, as much as I was going to give it a chance this season, I kind of agree. It's probably a wrap. You say it's something about Miss Cookie. Yeah, it's something about Miss Cookie. Her ass is thirsty. She needs some milk. That's what's wrong. And give her some warm milk at that so she can go to sleep. That's what's up with her. She is tired. She is tired, and it is time for her to go to bed. So we're going to give Miss Cookie some warm milk to help her out with that. Y'all remember how you used to give a baby some warm milk so help them go to sleep? Yes, that's what's wrong with Miss Cookie. So, but yeah, every day, Monday through Friday, 1 p.m., we are doing tea time. Okay, what's the tea? So I'll be just kind of talking about some hot topics, just some different random things. Then we'll come back live. You say a hot mess. We'll come back live in the evening about 8 o'clock. We'll pick up our 8 o'clock slot, and we will bring you the recaps for Monday will be Real Housewives of Potomac. Tuesday will be Love and Marriage Huntsville. After we get done with Bell Collective, Wednesday, well, listen, I'm gonna be live every day. I don't think Angela got it in her, but I don't have no choice, y'all, because I got to build this thing up. Listen, the Glow Up Network is coming your way. Okay, so stay tuned. If you're not already following me, make sure that you do. I am coming in with some nice hot things. Y'all see, I did change the room name. The room name is back to BRANDIJENAE Beauty. And I have some new stickers. I'll be adding some more stickers. But yes, the Glow Up Network, if you're looking to glow up, make sure you are following me because we are about to get this started. We're about to get on the move. And I can't wait to formally introduce the Glow Up Network, okay? I cannot wait to formally do that. So listen, everybody who stuck around with me for this little hot topic day, thank you so much. I want to tell y'all have a very, very happy Thanksgiving. So I probably will not go live tomorrow, and maybe I will. I don't know, because I'll be free. I'll be free. So I will go live just while I'm doing some of my cooking. I appreciate everybody for stopping in, for grabbing your heartbeat, for sending the roses. Thank you, Professor. I appreciate that. For the populars, for coming and hitting my live gallery. You know what? Since you say you hope I do go live, I will, because that's the deal. I have to be doing this. I have to make the schedule, right? And I just have to come and be consistent, and I have to show up. So I will. You know what? I will. Because like I said, I'm not going to be doing very much. I'll be doing a little cooking, but not too much. You'll be here. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Hey, Official Henry. That's Paul. Thank you so much, Paul, for coming in. Like I said, for everybody who came in, grabbed their heartbeat, you hit the live goal. Oh, I didn't even have a live goal. Oh, yes, I did. But you came in and got my gallery. Michelle, cousin Aaliyah, I appreciate that. We are getting ready to launch the Glow Up Network. So I will come and bring y'all more information about that. And I look forward to building this live channel, right? We just gonna build it. We're gonna keep building. Thank you to everybody on YouTube who've come in and checked in. If you are not subscribed to my channel, make sure that you do. Share it with your friends. Come back. I'm going to be live daily for YouTube as well. So make sure that you are looking out for that. Listen, we just got to get it started, honey. Ain't nothing to it but to do it. Right. And for any of my subscribers over on, yes, on both. So make sure you hit the link in my bio and go ahead and subscribe to my channel. But listen, I'm going to tell y'all something about my subscription service over here on TikTok. If you are going to subscribe, I will be able, I will be able to share some behind the scenes information with you all, information that I will not be sharing with my general following, okay, my general community. So that is, we'll get more into those things as the days go on and as I continue to go live. So that's why you just want to make sure turn your notifications on, make sure you follow me, grab your points. If you know you're going to be here, grab your points. So that way, everything that we do all together, it helps us all. Helps me, helps you, and we help the app, okay? So with that being said, sending out holiday greetings. Let me go here. I started off with a song. I'm going to end it with a song, okay? I know that it is not Christmas season. I know. Well, actually, it is. I just explained that at the top of the show. Because, listen, I know everybody happens to say, like, we haven't got through Thanksgiving yet. Why do we see Christmas lights? Why are we hearing Christmas music? And my idea is that Thanksgiving and Christmas, as far as the season go, it is all Christmas season. The reason why is because even the Thanksgiving is a holiday for giving thanks. And we want to be thankful for our families, thankful for our health, thankful for whatever careers we have, the blessings that God has sent us. I told y'all my son just got married on Saturday. I am blessed to have a new son-in-law. Even though he's been a part of the family for quite some time, it is official. I have a new son-in-law, and I am excited about that. I'm thankful for that. I am thankful for the new family that my son has married into. That family has taken him in, and they love on him so very much. And it's wonderful to be able to experience, simply because I have been a part of a family in which I was fighting to be, loved in. I didn't know better. And I know better today. And so it's so nice to just see and to be able to trust that family with my son and know that they're going to love him like he is their own. That feels good. And so again, part of this Thanksgiving season about being thankful, it kind of goes along with Christmas as well. We know Christmas is not just about gifts and gifting and getting gifts, and that it is just it's to reflect on Jesus' birthday, the birth of Jesus. And again, that goes along with being thankful, with being grateful. And so I don't see anything wrong with playing Christmas music right now. Now, I don't have my tree up just yet, but it is going up on Friday. So that's what we'll be doing on Fridays live, is putting up the Christmas tree. But I love Christmas music. Christmas season is one of my favorite seasons. And it's just because everybody is always in a good mood. Everybody is courteous, kind. Most people, we got our Scrooges around, right? And I guess the Christmas holiday wouldn't be the holiday without Scrooge or the Grinch. But for the most part, I feel like when you out in the stores, everybody speaks, everybody, smiles, everybody is just in a really good mood. And I love that. I love the feeling. I love being in it. And I love Christmas music. So we are going to end with Christmas music with a Christmas song. Let me find one of my favorites. Let me find one of my favorites to play a song out. Okay, here we go. And I am going to end over on YT because I do not want any copyright restrictions. So thank y'all so much over here on YT, my internet cousins. I appreciate you. Angela, we will talk later. I'll check my text message and I'll text you back. Okay, y'all. See y'all later.